So here's something we should probably talk about. The PlayStation 5 NVMe SSD slot is being activated for people in the beta program for the PS5. Now, I was not invited to that one, so I have no idea, to be honest with you. Did I apply? Yes, but whatever, that's fine. The issue that we're running into, not we, but the issue that I guess the PlayStation 5 is running into is that the NVMe SSDs need to have a heatsink on them. And they need to be able to, I think, have a read-write speed of 7,000 megabytes per second. That is not cheap. That is not cheap at all. And it needs to be said that while there are options, you need to make sure that they have a heatsink on them. If they don't have a heatsink on them, you're not going to be a happy camper. Number one, that NVMe SSD is going to run extremely hot and potentially melt the slot that it's in the PS5, as well as potentially melt the plastic that is surrounding the PS5. So yeah, this is not something to sneeze at. It's not something to ignore. You have to have a heatsink on it. Mike Cerny himself even posted up a tweet saying, our solution to our very active 2-gamer PS5 household, his and her SSD, a couple of awesome options for 7,000 megabyte per second. Ended up putting my money down on this one. Going to be sweet. This is a Western Digital Black NVMe SSD, which I do have a Western Digital Black external drive that I use to keep my PS4 games on. And that's so I can play my PS4 games directly off of the external drive on my PS5 to help save space on that end. But this thing right here, this is an 8 terabyte hard drive. This thing was expensive too, cost a pretty penny. It was like $200. But now we're talking about NVMe SSDs, and you know, especially for like new gen NVMEs, they're very expensive. Let's go ahead and take a look at the website for Western Digital so we can take a look here at the pricing. Okay, so Western Digital Black, this is the one that Mike Cerny is recommending, and usually if you have the person who helped to develop the the system or the console, you have to pay attention to it. And I said before 7,000 megabyte per second read and write speed. I was incorrect on that. Is read speed. The write speed is 5,300. But anyways, so this one right here, this is for a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD Western Digital Black. It's the SN850. It has a heatsink on it. You have to get it with a heatsink. Okay, it's $20 more, and it has a heatsink. Okay, so this is $249.99 with the heatsink. And you can see right here, this is what it looks like. Again, it has the heatsink, because without heatsink, it looks like this. So if you're in Best Buy or whatever, and you see it like this, and it's not big and bulky, well, you're looking at the wrong one. Okay, so it's got to be big and bulky. It's got to have that heatsink on it. There is a 500 gigabyte option. There is a 2 terabyte option. 2 terabyte option, you're looking at 250. It's 250. All right, just call it what it is. It's 250. All right, 250 with the heatsink for the 2 terabyte. Did I say 250? 550. I don't know why I said 250. 550, because I kept looking at this one. 550. Which, oh man, that is insane. How is that? That doesn't even add up. Because I mean, you're talking about, usually you want to save some money, right? You upgrade to a 2 terabyte, you want to save some money, but it costs you $50 more to do a 2 terabyte as opposed to buying 2 1 terabyte hard drives. We're not going to get into that. The 500 gigabytes, same thing too. It's like, actually in this regard, you are saving a little bit of money, I guess, because it would be $340. Yeah, it'd be $340 for a 500 for 2 500s as opposed to $250. So this seems to be your best bet, is to buy the 1 terabyte NVMe SSD and buy 2 of them instead of buying a 2 terabyte. Unless you can get the 2 terabyte for cheaper than that. But anyways, we're getting sidetracked here. Let's go ahead and look at the specs, because the specs is really what's important and what you need to pay attention to. Specifications, it needs to be PCIe Gen 4. Okay, Gen 4, not Gen 3. Gen 3 is cheaper. Don't get a Gen 3. Gen 3 is like this. Okay, this is what a Gen 3 looks like, and this is not what you want to get, because this will not meet the requirements. This is a Gen 3 from Best Buy with a heatsink attached to it. This will not meet specifications, okay? This does not have the required read speed that you need. So if you go here, the specifications, it's 3470 for transfer rate, 3470 for read speed, and 3000 for write speed. That is not meeting minimum specs at all. Not even close. Okay, so if it looks like this, you're getting the wrong one. It has to look like this, okay? So going back down here, the dimensions are important too, because there are some SSDs that have a bigger heatsink on them. I think PNY makes a Gen 4 NVMe SSD, but the heatsink on it is ridiculous. It's redonkulous. Like it's something that you would find on like a heatsink for a CPU, and I'm not even joking. Go ahead and look on it. They have it on Amazon. Go ahead and take a look at them. Those heatsinks are, they're like the size of like a graphics card heatsink. I'm not even kidding. They would not fit on your PS5 at all. So make sure that you pay attention to that. So going up here, we got speed kills. This decimates it, just hyping up the SSD. The Western Digital SSD reaches irrational speeds. That's funny the way they say that. But 7,000 megabyte per second read speed and 5,300 megabyte per second write speed. That write speed is the minimum requirement on the PS5. Okay, the PS5 itself, I think, is around that. I think it's either 52 or 53. I can check that really quick. Okay, so I was mistaken. It's actually 44. I'm sorry. Nope. Looking at the wrong one.